Hi student, okay, today we will look into understanding buyer behavior. Okay, in any type of business, I have to repeat several times, any type of business, regardless is agriculture, information, construction, you should understand the behavior of your customer. So that is what we are going to look into on this topic. Okay, so as usual, let us look into the learning outcomes. Once you study this chapter, you are able to describe the consumer buying decision process. Okay, once you understand this, it's easier for you to come up with the marketing strategy, how to approach your customer or consumer. Okay, and you will able to describe the factors that affecting consumer buying behavior, and you also able to describe the business buying behavior and the influencing factors. Okay, and let us look into the chapter overview as usual. Okay, here understanding buyer behavior. So this buyer behavior is divided to two groups. Okay, one is consumer, business to consumer, B to C. Okay, one group is business buying behavior, B to B, business to business. Okay, consumer normally they purchase in the small quantity. Okay, so individual purchasing process, whereas for business B to B, they are purchased in the millions dollars, millions ringgit Malaysia. So these two totally different group. To understand them is important so that we can sustain their relationship for the long term. Okay, so on the consumer buying behavior, knowing the definition, what is consumer buying behavior, and we also will look into the factors that affecting this consumer buying behavior. What are the factors? Okay, and we also will look into consumer buying decision making process. Okay, whereas in buyer side, we will look into business buying behavior, the factors as well as their buying process plus with the decision making process. Okay, okay, consumer buying behavior. Consumer mean now I'm talking about you, me, myself, everyone, individual consumer. Okay, definition of consumer. So consumer, if you all still remember in previous slide or the earlier slide, I normally will use two category of consumer and customer. Okay, consumer means consume the product. Okay, they are the person who use the product. That is what they are called as a consumer. Customer, not necessary, they just buy, not necessary for them to use the product. For example, the parents buy the pampers. Pampers, the consumer for the pampers is the baby, it's not the parents. So the customer who bought the pampers, okay, Aki's pampers, is the parent. So that parent will address or call as a customer. Okay, so definition for consumer here in this book, individual who buy product and services for themselves or on behalf of their household. Okay, final users or the end users of this product. That's why they are called as a consumer. They the one that use the product or services. Now let us look into the continuity of our consumer buying behavior. So it's the process of how consumer make purchase decision and how they use the purchase product. Okay, so what will stimulate them to purchase the product? Okay, so these are the this model that picturized in this slide. It's called as stimulus response consumer behavior model. So there is four big element that you need to understand, that is stimuli, consumer black box, buyer decision process, post decision response. Under stimuli, what will stimulate them to buy? Okay, so marketing mix, product, price, place, promotion, and the environment that they are in. Okay, when we talk about environment here, particularly we will talk about political, economical, social and technological element. Okay, that will be the stimuli that stimulate the consumer to buy and use the product. In the consumer black box, okay, so that black box actually referring to the characteristic of the consumer, okay, they are characteristic influenced by the culture, social background and their personality as well, and it's also influenced by the consumer psychological. So when talk about consumer psychological element, it's cover on the motivation, their perception on certain thing, their learning, the knowledge of their learning process, okay, the values, the beliefs, that attitude they have towards certain product and services. That is on the consumer black box. No one can determine this, okay, it's difficult. That's why we understand, we are not determining their behavior, we are understanding their behavior, okay. So then third will be on the buyer decision process, okay. So when talk about the decision process, of course there need to be need recognition. So they will search for the information. Then they will, when they search for the information, plenty of the product, competitive product will be available in the market. So they evaluate the alternative that each product carry. Okay, so that will be the on buyer decision process. Then last will be post decision response. Okay, so the purchase choice. Okay, in post decision response we will look into two elements. One, purchase choice. Okay, under purchase choice, the product choice, the brand choice, dealer choice, purchase date and time, payment method will be the choices that the consumer will make. And lastly we will look into the post purchase behavior. Are they happy with the purchasing decision or not? If they are happy, they will repeat the purchase, okay, or they will ask someone to buy. But if they are not happy and are not happy with the services, they definitely will not repeat the purchasing and will badmouth to others about the product or services. Okay, this is picturized or summarized buying behavior. Okay, it's summarized by Kotler and Armstrong. Okay, so it's very easy for you to understand, and you can see on my left side there is a significant differences between brand and few differences between brand. So on top we can see high involvement and low involvement. Okay, let us take the first quadrant. Okay, complex buying behavior. Okay, complex buying behavior is, by the term itself, we understand that it's very complex for us to buy. Okay, so why it's very complex? Because there is a significant difference between the brands. Okay, so you need high involvement. That's why high involvement means you need more information. Okay, maybe the price of the goods or services that you want to buy is expensive. That's why you need high involvement. If the product is 1 ringgit, we won't need that much of involvement. It's 1 ringgit only. But the same but the product is priced for 10,000 or priced for 18,000 or priced for 80k. So we will involve a lot because we don't want our decision fail. Okay, we make a wrong decision. Okay, that's why high involvement is needed. Okay, if you see the second quadrant, okay, that is variety seeking behavior, where there is significant difference between brands, but your involvement will be very low. So means that you are not loyal customer. You can as long as you are happy with the product or services, you can just, and you have the money, you have the purchasing power, you just buy the product. Okay, whereas for habitual buying behavior, we can see few differences between brand and low involvement, such as, for example, I normally use toothpaste Colgate brand. Since my childhood, I'm using the Colgate as my toothpaste. So that is habitual. I go to the store, any convenience store, I just get the Colgate. I am not going to do any research on that. No, that is called as a habitual buying behavior. If I want to drink a cocoa drink, the drink that I know since I'm small is Milo. So I no need to have any research or anything, like it's habitual buying behavior. Okay, it's like the product is, since you are small, you are very used to the product. That is called as habitual buying behavior. Okay, let us now look at the factors that affecting consumer buying behavior. Again, consumer means I'm talking about you, myself, everyone, individual consumer. Okay, so what are the factors that will make us or will affect our purchasing decision? Okay, one is culture factors, social factors, second personal factors, psychological factors. When look at the cultural factors, we have culture, okay, subculture and social class. When look at into the social factor, we have a reference group, family, the one who make a lot of decision in our buying process, roles and status. Okay, personal factors, age, yes, it does make a difference. Okay, and our life cycle stage, our occupation, okay, economic situation, lifestyle, personality, self-concept. So those elements will be under personal factors, and psychological factors, okay, motivation, perception, learning, belief and attitude will be under the psychological factors. Actually, when you buying, you never realize all these factors, but actually somehow it's influencing you in a buying process. When talk about cultural factors, as earlier mentioned, there is a three, and here in this slide we give you the definition for each group: culture, subculture and social culture. Okay, I don't want to dwell on this, you can read yourself. And we have social factors, reference group, okay, family, roles and status. Reference group is a group in society with which a person interact. They are point of comparison or reference for your consumer in making their decision. That is called as a reference group. They will may or may not influence your buying decision. Okay, family, most basic group a person belongs to and the most important social institution for many customer and consumer. Roles and status. A role consists of activities of people are expected to perform according to the person around them. Each role carries status a person rank in a society. Like myself, most of my purchasing behavior influenced by my mom actually. She's so family members are the one that influence in my purchasing behavior. Okay, when talk about personal factors, okay, age, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, personality, self-concept. Okay, age, yes, during my childhood time, the things that I buy, during that time I don't have the purchasing power, so all depend on our parents. Okay, when you grow up, you go to the college, you go to university, so your purchasing behavior is will be influenced by your friends. Okay, then you grow up, you finish your college, university, you enter in your job market, and you have now the purchasing power, you have the buying power, you have the money in your pocket, so this will be different. Okay, so occupation, okay, occupation determine the level of income that you are going to get in your pocket, so that will determine the purchasing behavior as well. Economic situation, lifestyle, okay, personality of the person and self concept. Okay, all these elements will influence and will be the personal factors for purchasing buying behavior. So psychological factors, motivation. Motive are the driving forces that cause a person to take action to satisfy specific need. Okay, so that motivations, okay, will be influenced in your purchasing behavior. Perception, the way a person select, organize and interpret information. Learning will be the process that create changes in behavior, okay, immediate or expected to experience and practice. Belief, the organized pattern of knowledge that an individual holds as a truth about something. Okay, and attitude, a person like or dislike towards an object or idea that put people into a frame of mind of liking or disliking something or moving towards or away from them. Okay, motivation, this is actually Maslow hierarchy model. So Maslow hierarchy model, we can see the last psychological needs, Second will be the safety need, social need, self-esteem need, and self-actualization. Okay, each state carry a different definition, definitely different needs for a consumer to carry out the purchasing decision. Okay, consumer buying decision making process. Okay, first you need recognition. Then you, to fulfill the need, you will search for information. So when you're searching the information, there will be a lot of product, competitor product, everything. So you will evaluate the alternatives that you have. Then you will make a choice. Then after making a choice, definitely there will be post-purchase behavior where, oh, did I make a right choice or not? Because normally people will have this kind of behavior if when they involve in purchasing very expensive products such as house, car, you know. So normally we will have, even we go to a simple restaurant, why not I never take that meal, why I'm taking this meal, we will have this kind of behavior. So it's normal. So these are the 5 elements in consumer buying decision making process. Okay, customer satisfaction, we can divide it into 3, where we will have a dissatisfied customer, satisfied customer, and delighted customer. So when the product that they purchase give lower performance, then of course the customer are dissatisfied. When they have like, okay, I'm fine with the product, okay, that is satisfied customer. When they purchase something, then they have more than what they expect, then that type of customer we call as a delighted customer. Okay, all organizations that buy goods and services for further production or other goods and services, reselling, renting and supplying to others, this group called as a B2B, business to business, or business buying behavior. As I mentioned earlier, it's involved lot of money. Okay, so it's important for us to understand them as well. So normally this group of people, what they will purchase, they purchase raw material, semi-finished product, parts, capital equipment goods, accessory equipment goods, maintenance and repair goods, and operating supply. Okay. Categories of business buyers, okay, producer, reseller, government and institution. Okay, producer defined here as a profit-oriented individual and organization that purchase goods and services to produce other products, to incorporate into other product, or to support the day-to-day operation of the organization. Whereas reseller include wholesalers and retailers that purchase finished good and resell them for a profit. Wholesalers sell goods to retailer or other wholesaler and organizational customer. Third will be on government. Government as a business buyer include federal, state and local bodies and foreign government. They purchase variety of products from airport, printed paper to consultancy and social services. And last is institutions include both public and private organizations like universities, school, hospital, social club and museum. It also include other not-for-profit organization. These are the 4 categories of business buyer. Okay, business market versus consumer market nature. Okay, so in terms of category, we divided them in 4 elements: numbers, demand, distribution structure, nature of buying unit. Okay, when you look into business market, numbers few compared to the consumer market, many, because every individual is involved in consumer market. So it will be plenty lah. Okay, demand, derived demand from the consumer market for business market, and for consumer market is the individual themselves. Okay, the demand is created by the consumer. When talk about distribution structure, it's more direct, and consumer is more indirect. And when look into the nature of buying unit, on business market is more professional, and on the consumer market side it's more personal. Okay, type of decision and decision process. On business market, definitely you need a lot of people, agreement, complex, and it's very formalized because it involves a lot of money. And whereas in consumer market, small number, simpler and very informal. Okay, use of leasing in business market is greater, and consumer market is lesser. again, because not much fun is involved in a consumer market. Look into the relationship on business market is more informal and closer, and the consumer market is more formal. Okay, roles in purchasing process. We have dominant people like user, gatekeeper, influencer, deciders, and buyers. What are their roles? Okay, it's stated in this slide. Okay, user, people in the organization who actually use the product. Okay, so they are the person who experience and have the knowledge about the product. Okay, gatekeepers, member who control the information flow in relation to purchase. For example, the secretary to a manager may be the gatekeeper in a purchasing process, as she controls the flow of requests from others in the department. Influencer, people who influence the buying decision by defining a specification and providing information to evaluate available product choices. Okay, deciders, the person who has the formal and informal power to choose the final vendors and brand. Okay, buyers, members who have formal authority to select the vendors and negotiated the purchase. It could be anyone in the organization depending on the purchase situation. Okay, what is called new purchase? Company required to develop new product. It's require new materials and parts that have never been purchased before. Therefore, the product is considered as new purchase for the organization. Straight rebuy. Okay, straight rebuy means the product are purchased regularly in a continuous manner. Supplier are either fixed for a certain period of time, or there are a set of approved supplier. Sometimes because the purchase are done on routine with fixed volume, the purchase are automated through a buying system. Now let us look into modified rebuy. Modified rebuy is product may has been purchased before but may have some changes to suit product modification or product improvement. The change may include product technical specification, design, or volume. Okay, factor affecting business buyer behavior. Again, here there are three main elements that affect the buyer behaviors of business organization. That they are environmental factors, interpersonal factors, and organizational factors. Okay, here we will explain on the business buying process as similar to consumer buying process. First, you need to have need of recognition and specification. Okay, so under that category, we have problem recognition, general need description, and product specification. Okay, once product specification done, so supplier, we need to identify the supplier. So we have to carry out supplier search, then we have to come up with the proposal, and we evaluate the proposal, and we select the supplier. Then we place the order and we review the performance. Okay, so these are three main elements in the business buying process. Okay, student, we already end of the chapter. So today I hope that you understand the consumer buying behavior and business buying behavior, two different group. We already cover two different group. Hope you understand, and by understanding this in future, if you want to embark in any type of business, it will be helpful for you, and to help you by understanding them, it's help you to make them sustain in your business organization. Wish you good luck on this chapter, and please do the exercise that I listed in the OCW platform. See you in next chapter. Thank you. Take care.